Okay, lesson 315, Midsegments Part 2. The objectives of this lesson is to find the length of the midsegment of a trapezoid or a triangle. We're going to be focusing on the triangles. Solve problems involving the midsegment of a trapezoid or triangle. And like I said, we're going to be focusing on the triangle. The term that we're going to be looking at in this lesson is midpoint of a triangle, the line segment that connects the midpoints of the two sides. The length of the midsegment of a trapezoid is equal to 1/2 the sum of the lengths of the bases, and that's what we covered in our last lesson, and we ended up with this formula right down here, and I worked several examples for you. Well, when we have the midsegment of a triangle, we're going to draw from the midpoint of one leg to the midpoint of the other leg, just like on the trapezoid, and that segment is known as the midsegment of a triangle. Every triangle has 3 bases and 3 midsegments. Each midsegment joins the midpoints of 2 sides. And so I put an arrow in here showing you where the midsegment was, and this segment right here, LK, is going to be parallel with XY. Now it is also dividing those 2 legs exactly in half, okay? And that's the same for each of these midsegments. They're going to be parallel to their base right here, and all of them are going to be dividing the legs into congruent sections. Now the triangle midsegment theorem says that the length of a midsegment is equal to 1/2 the length of its corresponding base. A midsegment is parallel to its corresponding base. So they've come up with this formula down here that PQ equals 1/2 of AC. Here's PQ, it's the midsegment, and I know it's the midsegment because it's cutting the legs exactly in half, and it's also parallel to AC. And so I know that if I take 1/2 of AC, I will find the measurement for PQ. So let's do some examples because sometimes that's the best way to learn. It says in triangle XYZ, XE equals EG equals GJ equals JZ, YF equals FZ, and XD equals DH equals HI and equals IY. So basically they're going through and telling you who all is congruent to who. How many midsegments for triangle XYZ are there? And name each midsegment. Well, you have to think your midsegment is going to cut your legs exactly in half, and we're looking at XYZ here, okay, the triangle XYZ, and it's going to be 1/2 of the base. So let's see what we've got here. It says that we have 5 midsegments. Well, it's not wanting to write, and I just jumped to the answer. I guess it would help if I got my pen all in order before I start trying to write. Okay. Oop, that should be mid segment. Doing a little abbreviating there. Okay, the first one that we see is DE. And what we're doing, we're not, well, you'll see what we're doing. I might be confusing if I say it out. DE is midsegment for triangle XDE, XHG. I'll get that right. Oh, I ran out of room. XHG. So if I look right here, I have XHG, just to help you see it, and there's DE. Now I'm going to erase that. Now that you've seen it, I'm going to erase it, because I don't want it to confuse us when we're figuring out the other ones. Okay, then we have that HG and FG and FH, and let me see here, FH, can't even find F, oh there it is. See, each one of these guys right here, oops, those are each a mid-segment of the big triangle X, Y, Z. And then lastly, we have that IJ is the mid-segment for triangle, oh actually, it's not a triangle, for the trapezoid YHGZ. And let me put under there trapezoid. And let's identify a YH, gotta find, here's Y, goes to H, G, Z. There's your trapezoid right there. Okay, so we answered part A, all 5 of them. Let me put up here part A. Okay, now we're going to part B. If XZ equals 24 and XY equals 30, find the lengths of HF and FG. So I like to go and mark things up, and since I've already marked up a little bit, let me erase that just so that won't confuse us when we're seeing what I'm marking up now. Go back to pen. XZ is 24. Whoa, that's this whole line right here. And XY, which is this whole, oh, I don't make these these brackets very well going this direction. That's 30. Find the lengths of HF and that's HF right there, and FG. And here's FG. Okay. If I look, HF is parallel to this base. And I also know that a mid-segment of a triangle, that HF is going to equal half of XZ. So I don't know HF equals 1/2. XZ is going to be 24. Oops. Half of 24 is going to give me 12. So HF is 12. Put a little box right there. And then for HG, I'm going to do this, FG, I'm going to do the same thing. Here's FG is going to equal half of XY. Oop, that shouldn't be an equal sign right there. And then FG is going to equal 1/2 30. Half of 30 is 15. So there's what FG equals. Part C, oh, let me erase all this so I can mark up some more, because I don't want us to get these confused with part B. Okay. This says HG is 12.9. There's HG. YZ is 8.1. YZ 8.1. Isn't that crazy? Don't ever go by what the picture looks like, because they obviously did something wrong right there. Because HG is obviously smaller than XY. Oh, wait. Well, I did the wrong one for XY, but let's put it over here where it goes. Let's erase what I put up there. Even still, I might have labeled the wrong side, but you can still tell. Don't go by the picture. Find the length of IJ. Where is IJ? Oh, it's right here. It's this segment right here. Wow. Okay, I was correct. I had labeled that correctly. I don't know where I got off with XY needing to be where I was labeling. Okay, if we look, IJ is the mid-segment of trapezoid YHGZ. So remember, when you have the mid-segment of a trapezoid, you add, well, you take half, and let's say this, HG plus YZ equals IJ. So I'm going to have half HG is 12.9 plus 8.1, and I don't know IJ. So this one is easier than multiplying both sides by 2. It's easier to go ahead and figure out, add these guys together. And that's what I was supposed to be doing, and I just started writing the problem again. So that's going to be 21 equals IJ. Well, half of 21 is going to give me 10.5. So there we go. And hopefully I've got enough room down here to do part D. HG is 14. I'm going to mark through that, forget it. It's 14. FZ, this little section right here, is going to be 14. They want to know the length of IJ. So I'm going to leave my little question mark right there. So if FZ equals 14, then that means YF is 14, because these guys are congruent, remember? And 14 and 14 is going to give you 28. All right, so IJ is the mid-segment of that trapezoid, YHGZ. So all we've got to do is work through the trapezoid formula again. So I'm going to have 1/2 HG plus YZ, which is going to give me 14 plus 28, equals IJ. So 14 and 28, I'm trying to squeeze this in so there's enough room. I think will give me 42. Yeah, 42. So I'm going to have 1/2 42 equals IJ, and 1/2 of 42, oops, is 21. So there you go. That's how you work that one. All right. And there's all the official answers. Let's work another one. It says triangle RTV, in triangle RTV, SWU are the midpoints of the respective sides. Name each segment of RTV and the side of the triangle to which the segment is parallel. So if I'm going through and I'm naming each side, let me see, name each mid-segment. So for my mid-segments, I'm going to have, let me write up here, mid-segments, I'm going to have SU, SW, and UW. Okay, so I named the mid-segments and the side that it goes with. So what they're saying is that SU, I'm not doing a very good arrow there, is going to be parallel. Well, I can't draw arrows the wrong direction, people. So SU is going to be parallel to VR. SW is going to be parallel, here's SW, those are 2 arrows. It's going to be parallel to YT. Forgot to put my segment bars. And then I've got UW is parallel. This one's going to have 3 arrows. Parallel to TR or RT, doesn't matter. There we go. I answered part A. Part B says RT is 12. Got to find RT. That's this one right here. That one's 12. TV is 10. There's 10 for TV. And RV is 14. Find the length of each midsegment. So I'm going to come up here. I'm going to say, okay, for SW, I've got TV divided by 2. Okay, TV divided, because remember, your midsegment is half of the base that it's parallel to. And TV is 10 divided by 2, so SW equals 5. And you do that for each one of these. You're going to go, okay, WU is going to equal RT divided by 2. RT is 12. Oops, I was trying to sneak the answer in there. 12 divided by 2 is 6. So WU equals 6. I ought to put boxes around all that. Okay. And then the last one is US. I think I called it SU. Doesn't matter. You're going to take RV divided by 2. RV is 14. 7. So US equals 7. There we go. There's the official answers. You can look at it in the slides if you want to go back through the slides. And let's look at this one. I believe this is our last example. Okay. It says triangle AJH, points F and G are respective midpoints of AJ and HJ. So that means this is the midsegment. It's parallel to the base. We know that FG is going to equal half of JH. Oops. That's not really what let's just put it like that. 9 minus X. I'm just plugging in the values. JH is 4X. Now, when I start working like this, I like to get that 2 out of the denominator. So I'm going to have 2 times 9 and 2 times X. So I'm going to have 18 minus 2X equals 8X. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I was multiplying there. I shouldn't have. Let me show you why. I was just getting extra excited with my multiplication skills. This 2 and this 2 reduce to 1, and 1 times anything is itself, so that's just going to be 4X. Now I just solve for X. I'm going to add this 2X to both sides, so I have 18 equals 6X, and then I've got to divide both sides by 6, so I have 3 equals X. Now I found part A, that equals 3. FG is 9 minus 3, which gives me 6. And JH is 4 times 3, which gives me 12. There you go. Official answers. Woo, looks much longer than mine. But we all got the same thing. Okay, a midsegment of a triangle is a segment in which has its midpoints are the midpoints of the 2 legs of the triangle. Every triangle has 3 midsegments. The triangle midsegment theorem states that the midsegment of a triangle 1 has a length that is equal to 1/2 the length of its corresponding base, and 2 is parallel to that base. The perimeter of the triangle formed by the midsegments is equal to 1/2 the perimeter formed by the vertices of the original triangle. Be sure to go through your LMS lesson and fill in the student guide. Be sure to read pages 89 through 92 in your reference guide. Also work problems 14, 16, and 18 in your problem set. And if you have any problems with any of the problems in the problem set, be sure to come to Toga or to contact me before you take the 315 quiz, because we want you to do well on that. and make note of any general questions that you may have when you attend CC on Thursday. And that's going to be it for this lesson. Thanks for listening.